around.
This looks so fancy with the audio mix.
How are you?
Good, how's life?
Good. Things are going well.
Yeah.
How's the start of your year?
It is great on lots of parts, but
Which
like
like I do. I mean, I can't.
this year's feeling a little zoo-like for me. I got 5 preps, 2 brand new classes, teaching a dual enrollment class called college algebra.
Yeah.
Super psyched. Getting kids some college credit.
Mhm.
Super psyched about it. But it's also a lot.
Yeah, 5
Is that
preps is a
mine?
lot.
Yes, a lot. And then we've got a new math teacher, so I'm mentoring him. So like he and I are like together all the time, which I love. He's wonderful, but I'm just kind of.
He's just trying to start to me now.
Yeah.
He starts to me.
Okay, let's do this.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
We'll
be quiet. We need to. Okay. Are we good? Okay. Okay. So welcome to the regular Hartland School District School Board meeting, Tuesday, September 2nd. We're starting a little bit late, at 6:09. So we'll call this meeting to order. First, I will take any changes or additions to the agenda.
Can I add just one quick question, comment about PTO fundraisers that came up, that was brought up to me by a community member?
Okay, so we'll do that. I guess we'll do that as D under the items for discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Great. So I will take, do we have any public or are we?
We do not.
There we go. I will take a motion to, I'm gonna list off all 3, and if there are any to approve the minutes of May 5th, 2025, which was a special meeting, May 6th, 2025, and then June 2nd, 2025, which is our retreat.
So moved.
I don't even remember if I went to all of them. Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, right, we
might
are
have
gonna have
not
to
been at the
separate. You were not at the
special.
retreat.
No, I was at the retreat.
I was there too. I wasn't at the special.
Was it that?
I was at the retreat.
I
I was there.
Yeah, I know. Now we gotta look at the minutes and see who's there.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I could have just.
No, we do need to,
I just
sort out who was where. Okay, so, are there any changes to the minutes? And we'll vote on them. I don't hear. Okay, so Beth is gonna pull up attendance. Okay, I'm gonna get another cookie. Once that pulls up attendance.
I feel like this is.
Christine, these are like still melty out of the oven.
know.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone want cherry tomatoes? Balance this out.
Healthy.
Actually, wait, did Lori send them to us? Why do I not?
They're in the.
I don't even know.
They're in the portal.
What
Yeah.
was the
Okay.
special meeting? I don't remember what the special meeting was.
I think it was to make an offer to the retreat person sitting next to you.
Oh. I don't think I was at
How
that.
did that
Like
look?
that was, yeah, that was. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that was to talk about Ryan, Nikki, Anna. We were all there. Okay, so we're all at the 5th.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I can't wait.
Oh, no,
to have a Woodstock Windsor.
No, it wasn't the tuition thing. It was the, you were at the principal.
Do you think we're especially we're
Was that for?
That was in a minute.
Oh, okay.
I can be wrong.
Oh, yeah, they were not coming up easily. I had to go into
You want me to pull them
the,
up?
you can get them
I
faster.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're looking to see who was at meetings.
I know I wasn't at one of them. But I don't even remember
The
what.
agenda. I don't know why. I know, it was doing that to me earlier, so I had to. All right, so, okay, so everybody was up to retreat. The only one that's not pulling up for me is the, so Christine, we only need the 6th.
And I'm on the 5th.
Everybody was at it.
It was at the 5th.
Yep.
So it was the 6th that maybe, I know, I feel like I wasn't, maybe I was at home. Maybe I just made this a big deal for no reason, and I'm sorry. Which we're just trying to out.
What to do, so I said.
You coming to Hebrew school on Sunday?
Is it already start Sunday?
We're starting Sunday.
We will not be there. Sunday, because we're in Connecticut. And I'm running on weekend, so I would say that you just chance out. So you do junior Saturday.
Do I need to call, do I need to guild Adam again?
You gotta remind him.
Okay, I will. He's not very good at responding back.
Talking about something other than Hebrews will probably respond back.
I will bribe him with pickles.
Yeah, that's actually probably the key. Not
If
good
you-
piece of
If you come,
Remind him that it's 2 hours that like our children are engaged in something.
I know.
Yeah, entertaining.
why don't I get to teach your child Hebrew?
Makes it just this for like 2 hours.
Whoever.
The big kids go off to class and then the baby pops around, but I'm gonna be in the hospital, so that sounds better than having all trains.
Sign up.
You want some Hebrew school, do?
2 hours. Drop my kids off for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's great.
Free babysit.
Admittedly, that's how Heather pitched it to me, and then
You find it interesting.
We can vote on the 5th and the 2nd.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's vote on that.
Okay,
Let's do
We
it.
can
all
do this
those in
together.
favor, yes, okay, we can do the 5th and the 2nd
Because
together.
everyone was here.
All those in favor of approving the minutes of May 5th, 2025 and June 2nd, 2025.
Aye.
Please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I found May 6th. We're on. it.
Okay.
This is
May
what it happened.
6th was,
Start schedule a normal meeting.
Yeah, that one, I don't know.
May 6th.
I think so.
Yeah,
Sounds like the
So
first.
you need to know who was there.
yeah,
On the 6th, it was Ryan.
Oh, just a joke. Okay, everybody there.
okay, so all those in favor of approving the minutes of May 6th, 2025, please say aye.
Aye. Maybe it was
All
the
those
June
opposed,
meeting.
nobody, okay.
No, it's not you. Okay.
Okay, for any public watching this later, we had,
Far more organized.
well, yeah, that, and, we had a bunch of, different people out of town and, administration were at a retreat. We couldn't find a way to reschedule, so it's been a while since we had a meeting.
Mhm.
But we're doing well. So, okay, public participation and announcements. Since there is no, Eliza?
I would like to announce that, or my public participation as a new middle school parent, that sounds weird, of a 6th grader, I am blown away by the super cool electives that these kids get to take. Like,
Yay.
I can't tell you like how excited my child is to talk about the electives. And we had a friend come over the other day and she was super excited about all these electives and like all these things and super excited about like, all the middle school teachers. Like a lot of excitement around like middle school teachers and things like that. And I've really appreciated all the communication they've gotten from both middle school teachers and 3rd grade teachers, like just lots of communication, which is feeling really, really great. And I really like Mr. Romeo's new email, like your Wildcat Weekly, different than what it used to look like, but I really like it. Thanks for all that information.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So, third,
Although Silas did come home saying he was taking cricket, and I thought, oh my gosh, how are you going to learn a new sport? What staff member knows cricket? That's crazy. Computer aided design using it.
Yeah.
really, I was like, what? I know, super cool.
I was hoping, yeah, it's like,
Someone's learning cricket. Okay.
that's awesome.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing pictures of school start, and I'm also really sad that, I don't have anybody here.
Hmm.
So it's kind of weird to not know
Oh,
about,
like your children.
yeah, like
Got
I
it.
don't have children in school. It's weird to, yeah. Okay, well, I have an announcement too, which I think most of the board knows. This is going to be my last meeting.
It's really why I brought cookies.
I did.
Oh, is that why you brought cookies?
Mhm.
Aw.
I'm gonna resign
I'd
at
rather
the end of
take
this
it than the
meeting. And I don't know if I just have to do a verbal resignation or if I have to do a letter. I don't know.
We should just make her write a letter.
Mhm.
Well, as a matter of fact.
So-
Exactly.
90 day
So my-
notice? Isn't there 90 day notice?
I know, exactly.
Is
Let's just
there
go to
a
the
year
script.
notice? I
So-
feel like there's a year notice.
No, I just,
I think she actually did that.
yeah, I think I did do that. Yeah, so I've been on the board. I actually looked it up. I've been on the board for like 9 years and 2 months. I think I've been chair for 7. So, it's just feeling like the right time to step away. And my job is overwhelming and my kids' schedules are overwhelming and I'm trying to un-overwhelm my life. So,
That's amazing.
but I am insanely sad to not participate in the conversations that we have with this board shaping the lives of the kids in our town, which is hard, really hard to walk away from. So, which is why I've been here for 9 years, because it is hard to walk away from. So that's my announcement, and I think, I don't know, we're gonna have to elect a new chair at
What
the
was-
end.
Were you,
No, you need a full board.
what's your seat? I mean, how many years?
Oh, I think I'm due in March.
Up in March.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do you
But
know,
it
is it
wasn't
2 or 3?
what?
Is it a 2 or 3 year?
I just did
Usually
a 2 year,
Yeah, so because,
and usually we alternate.
yeah, because I think mine was a 3-year.
Yeah,
Just like Hannah, you and I, I
yeah,
was the 3 year, you were the 2 year, and then when we were up together, I went to the 2 year and you went to the 3 year.
Okay, we might want to think about offering the 2 year to somebody who's new.
well, no, we have to,
We'll just.
well,
find
you all
somebody. You
have to, find a replacement for me, and then they have to be elected for the first time in March. They have
Right.
to run.
But do you think we should offer them a
Oh,
2 year spot instead of asking them to the 3 year?
yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it would be up to
Beth, are
them, but
you
yeah.
up? Who's up in the,
Beth, you're up in March? Okay. I don't think we should have to do the 2 year.
no, I think you're doing the 3 year.
I haven't decided yet if I'm running again.
Oh,
Still working on
oh,
Board changes afoot.
okay.
Christine's
it. I'm
sad.
just being transparent. Have not
Beth
been
is,
consistent on that.
really close behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
8 years or
Yeah.
8
So
and a
I
half.
was in kindergarten, so yeah.
Okay, Ryan and
Yeah.
Hannah, here we go.
All right, so you have to either, decide, you could take applications to fill the position until March. And then anybody can run in March. Or you can function as a 4-person board, I believe, until March.
I think it would be,
I think
honestly,
we've
I'd
got
rather
three
try to have
applications.
somebody,
Yeah, I'd rather see if anyone's interested.
yeah, because then if they can test it out and see if they like, and then they can run, and that seems
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have somebody feeling
Okay,
confident.
can we pass over the cookies now?
There's so many.
There's so many.
No, I don't, no, they can stop.
The
right here.
homemade, I know, homemades are amazing.
So
Yeah.
we can elect a chair, we should probably do it at the next board meeting, put it on the agenda. You think?
We don't need one to, you would just act as chair then?
Yeah, the superintendent opens the meeting and
Oh,
they like the chair.
the
The other thing that
Think
I have
about it, figure it out.
trained Ryan on is, how to sign the manifests. So you guys
Need to do
probably
that.
need to change that.
Yeah.
And I also think that I'm the SU treasurer,
Okay.
which means that I have done nothing except that I had to give my driver's license to the bank.
Right.
So there's gonna be a
But you,
change
you're
there.
already signing the manifest.
He trained.
You trained.
She
I
signed.
I trained, yeah,
She signed, I'll sign next time.
yeah.
So we'll have to.
But then we still need a backup then.
Were you the backup?
Yeah,
So,
So you're not the permanent.
But I was the backup for a while. You
Yeah,
Told me what to do.
yeah, yeah.
You were
I
like
don't
on the
know.
town for a while, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's really piled up.
so once she resigns, then we'll have to vote on a new signer of the manifest. So whatever you just called that. The
Yeah.
Backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were the backup?
yes,
Okay.
I thought it was the backup.
I think so.
I can look it up.
Usually
I'll have Laura look it up.
I trained them.
Hannah bought it at Host's.
I know, I just like not usually in town on during office hours.
Yeah. but It makes it hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put all that on the agenda for next month.
Thanks,
Thank
Nikki.
Yeah.
I was hoping you, I was hoping you would have forgot. I was like, came to the meeting, I was like, maybe
Maybe
Nikki
Nikki
forgot.
forgot.
And she forgot, like she's not gonna bring it up.
I know, it's hard, but I think it's the right thing for the family.
It's definitely.
I've done it a lot, yeah. And I also, like, John and I talked, I mean, John's the fire chief, and he's been that for
Yes.
18 years
I was
now.
gonna say, since we've lived here.
Uh-huh,
that's what
and, that's his decision.
Oh, okay.
But we both had a conversation like 5 years in to our respective roles of like, when you start to run out of a lot of really good ideas, it's time to move aside and let somebody else have good ideas. So I feel like I've been trying to keep my head above water with all the changes that have been throwing at us as fast as we could possibly absorb them, and so that's fine. Okay, moving on, unless there's other announcements.
I don't think we can have any more.
That you could totally have more announcements. Okay, so we have the administration report. There better be pictures of cute kids going back to school in here. That's okay. Because I need to see those.
You
want me to share? I was gonna say, do you want to see my cute?
Please.
You got it. I love the new like sound mixing. All of this.
I know, I like fancy.
Can you, is there any chance that we get to keep any of that? No, can you make the screen bigger?
Sure.
Yeah, I almost think, can you minimize all the other?
It makes me feel cool, like we're really high tech.
We are.
What if you go to view in the top? Can you change the view to just have like,
Moved off too long.
yeah. Like full screen interface, maybe? Or yeah, docs, is that considered? So those are like, I would, yeah, take unclick scenes, sources, audio mixer. If you unclick those 5, they'll probably go away.
Oh, Anna.
Yeah, looks like you got a set up.
Yeah. Where did this come from? She's got it.
I don't know.
This subgenre. She's a millennial. Actually, that should be Ryan's job, is he the youngest?
All right.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, so my presentation, I wasn't sure what you were looking for, so I kind of just took a little bit of things that we started, but everything that I do when I'm doing a presentation or having a faculty meeting, it's good to recognize our wonderful faculty and staff. So just a little something for them I thought was cute. I've come across.
Awesome.
So, right, people ask that all the time, so
They make a difference.
they make a difference.
For
All
sure.
right. New staff, so just a little something for folks there. I think you were familiar with most of those. Some of the paraeducators are new additions as we start to drill down to some of the needs within the classroom. So just a little highlight.
Do we need to formally accept any of the teacher hires? Or did we already do?
We did
that?
the ELA.
Yeah.
Kindergarten, so yeah.
Okay.
And arrows and stuff like that at the SU.
Yeah.
And we did Frank too.
Yeah.
Yep.
You did Frank. Yeah, we did Frank.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it'd be an awkward moment to realize we hadn't.
Yes. I would.
Yeah, that would be risky.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
sign it.
All right.
Awesome.
So I love this little video. If it's possible to play it, I want to teach this kid. And it just,
Jaden has $1 bill, 1 quarter, and 2 pennies. How much money does he have? Jaden broke.
I love this video, not just because it's
right, as a kid and just teaching the kids, it kind of reminds you of why you do some of the things, right? And come in. So I love that kid, and we put that in the beginning. The vision, just a reminder, and that'll be again out to faculty, just as a reminder of some of the things. One of the things that's important when you're working with faculty and staff is everybody understanding. And I can tell you within this district, and I'm not saying it because Christine's sitting here, is that I feel that there is an absolute vision and mission, and that's not always, I've not always felt that way where I am, right? And I feel like everyone knows where we're headed and what we're trying to do. And so I think it's always good just to put that out there. So that's good. So some new expectations on the left-hand side is PTO the night before the chalk. Welcome back. So I took some pictures of that, and I really I got to meet some kiddos and some great families and talk a little bit about the community, and I thought that was really nice. For expectations, just some things that we're working on. Can't say.
No, you're fine. I'm just.
There's a little glare.
There is a glare.
Just turn that light off.
There you go. No, it's okay. We don't really, like, I can.
No?
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
good.
you're
Okay.
good.
So some expectations one of the things that's important for me as an administrator is when we're looking at past, we're looking at new, we're looking to dust things off, is where is it written? Where are these things written down? So some of the conversations we had about some discipline, about hoods, about earbuds, my question was, do we have a policy written down? Or do we have something written down based off of a policy that the board has approved? So one of the things I'll be working on is sort of putting together some protocols in place so that there are documents for not only the faculty and staff, but the students to understand. For instance, no hoods. To me, that's just a safety issue. And as an example is that you can put earbuds in and I wouldn't know if you have a hood on, and if there's an announcement, if there is a fire, if there's anything like that, I need to know that you can hear not only the adult or the announcements. Your peripheral vision is also cut off with hoods. And so, right, if you need to get around a corner or something, and God forbid, I needed to look at camera if we had somebody on campus or in the building, I need to be able to see faces. And so it hasn't been a pushback. It hasn't been a problem, but I know that it was sort of a new expectation from the new principal. But to me, it's a safety concern. Followed up with no cell phones, as we know from the state. So we just have that in there. No earbuds. No, I can't see the screen.
I know, you have to like make the lines.
Working on some hallway etiquette. Just as walking around the building and recognizing that the upper grades are making their way through some of the lower grades and making sure vice versa that we're being respectful, especially with the new schedule. It's got people moving around. So putting together again a protocol that we could hand out to students that they could go over and they can say dress code. Another thing to take a look at, I think, over this year. I've asked some questions and we'll say, well, that's on our dress code book, that's not written anywhere. And I am a big believer of being able to express yourself. I have a 21-year-old daughter, but I wish wouldn't. Right, so I understand, but I also want to make sure that we're being respectful. And so I think there needs to be some things written down so that everybody understands. A new expectation, something we're working on, is a hallway pass system. It's a digital pass system. So it's a number of reasons, and really to highlight, one is safety. So for instance, if Michael and I should not be out in the hallways at the same time, if we're on opposite ends of the building and I'm issued a pass, it's a digital pass. If he's on the opposite end and he tries to issue a pass, it will deny him until I sign back in. So if you're working with groups of students that maybe you don't want out at the same time, right? Or for whatever reason, it's a good way to monitor that. It also alerts folks when they're going to different rooms. So if I have a student that says, hey, I'm going to guidance, hold on, let me write you a pass, or let me get a pass, you can get an alert on the other side knowing that a kid is coming. So it'll help us track students. So in the event, right, that a student says, I'm going somewhere, and they go hide in the bathroom or they go somewhere, we have the ability to monitor and kind of know where they're supposed to be while also having an alert.
Frank, is there like a written policy or criteria for an instance where like that happens? Because as soon as you said that, I think of like two parents that are like, oh, why is my kid not allowed to be in the hallway with another kid? And then you can basically say like, here's a criteria and the issues that this boxes that the student checks, and this is why.
So what we'll do, and we haven't gotten the pass system yet, and that's a great example. So we're going to put together sort of the protocols of how to follow, what to do. If, for instance, there is a situation where two students shouldn't be, that will be a notification. But most likely, there's probably been already a conflict that exists. And so one of the safety features would be, I understand that you don't want your student interacting with the student. Here's what we're going to do. As part of that, within our pass system, they will not be out at the same time, or they won't be issued the same pass at the same time.
Okay.
And that's something we can include in the safety plan.
Correct.
The parents will sign
Yeah,
up.
that's something I've always included in safety plan when we've used it, is to say. It'll also is a nice feature, and this will be something that obviously won't be public, is that we'll have a monitor, and on that monitor, it shows students out, what students are out and for how long. So if I walk into my office, which will have a monitor, I can quickly go, oh, Michael's been out for 10 minutes. I may need to go check on Michael, right? And where Michael is. Yeah. So it's just, again, a good way to keep track of students for safety purposes. I've used the system in the past. It's really been very helpful. You can also, for folks that want to schedule passes, they can actually schedule passes into the system so that a student going to see a counselor, for instance, we don't need to run around handing passes. We can digitally, the teacher gets an alert, the student gets an alert, so we know where the kid's headed.
So like an actual like wristband type thing?
No,
or
just on the computer. Everything's on the computer.
Is there like a computer that's like set aside that they do it on? Cause it just,
The teachers do it.
Yep, so each room, each teacher can just real quick, so if you're like, hey, I need to use the restroom, you can make the pass at your computer, or I could say, hold on 1 second. If I'm on screen, I'll jump off, issue the pass, and then it goes, and then you just have to make sure you check back in. And that's, I think, the one hurdle that we will be working on is everybody has to make sure they're using the pass system. If I have a couple, even as administrators, if I'm not following up on my end, then teachers are not gonna know if I call a student down, it's gonna be returning. So everybody has to be involved in using it. And so far, the feedback that we've gotten has been positive. We talked with the middle school, and then I had the 4 or 5 folks come and ask and say that we would be interested because they don't have restrooms in their classrooms as well. So being able to just monitor.
So you're thinking this would be in just 4 through 8?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
And fourth, they all share the same bathroom.
Yeah, they're all
So
down on this.
if we're getting information about 6, 7, and 8,
Yeah,
we're not getting to 3, 4, 5. It's part of the picture.
I was just asking, cause it might be, and cause you get the feedback from the teachers that it could be sort of disruptive if a teacher's over doing something on a board and then has to walk over to your computer and
Yep.
say, sign out. And it's like monkey see, monkey do. So one goes and the next one goes and the next one goes, and all of a sudden the lesson turns to.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be, that's part of the classroom management for teachers, and just being in classrooms as much as I have, I really feel like teachers have such a wonderful handle on their classroom management, right? A kid asks to go to the bathroom, give me a moment, finish what I'm doing, that type of thing. And I've seen that throughout the building. So obviously, one of the things to work on, especially maybe with newer teachers, right? How to be able to have that somewhat seamlessly be integrated within your classroom. I think once people get used to it, it becomes second nature like anything else.
They piloted at Weathersfield last year. And the way they used it, or the way I've seen it used, they have like an old laptop just in the classroom, and the kids, they sign themselves out. They just-
Okay.
the
That's what I was
teachers,
asking,
yeah,
like by the door or whatever, and they just.
yeah,
take
they just
themselves,
sign
so
out.
it's less
It
disruptive.
won't let them if they're not supposed to be, it'll alert like, no, there's too many kids in the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Another thing as a data point, behaviors information. When a student acts a certain way, that's information. And so I've been in meetings where I've sat with parents to say, so-and-so classroom, and I pull that up as a data point. Your kid leaves to go to the bathroom every day in this class. And to me, that's saying something about the student is looking for help or feels uncomfortable or something along those lines, right? A student that leaves to go to the bathroom every class, there's something going on, right? Or that particular class. And so I think it also is a great data point as a conversation to help support some of the behaviors.
Just staying on this, the dress code, I do think that there are some challenges
Yes.
in school with dressing. But I also worry, that the kids that are always in trouble will get nitpicked the most. And that's my experience.
Yeah.
And so, it does make me really nervous to be cracking down on dress code and just being careful of which kids.
I don't disagree. And so one of the things, much like cell phones, is that I do not want faculty and staff addressing dress code. Right? So if something that or just let us know and we will see if we need to have a conversation. But again, I feel I'm about expression for students. I think we should have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
And I don't want teachers getting into faculty and staff getting into this power struggle about phones and about dress code and stuff like that. Let us know. And from there, that becomes the discussion.
And just actually on the dress code topic, so just from a policy perspective, what's the precedent for sort of who writes dress codes? Are those district wide or those school handbooks?
It's in the handbook.
yeah.
And that's written by administrators. Okay, it's not, that wouldn't be like that's not considered like okay.
I don't think you want a policy on it.
No,
Yeah, that's
We
what I
used
was
to have
wondering,
one
is like,
government.
how does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're addressing just some of the things that are, and maybe it's, drugs, weapons, alcohol, things like that, that we're making sure.
Messaging.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
When we say dress code, I think we automatically go to what you're wearing specifically
Yep.
and where it measures, but
Yep.
more, I'm just making sure that we're
Yeah.
just kind of being especially
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah, I would say I'm less concerned about interests and more
Yeah.
concerned about messages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you.
But I think the truth is that you say dress code to a room
Yeah.
with women in it, and immediately women feel the worry about
Absolutely.
girls' bodies getting policed.
Yeah.
So that's obviously the thing that I just would want to make sure is
No
like
body
just
shaming.
we're careful about that, that it's, you know, that it's equitable, that it's applied, you know, that it's not, I remember my high school principal getting up and saying that girls were not allowed to wear topless dresses to prom. He meant sleeveless.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
of course, like fill the high school auditorium with
Yeah.
a bunch of boys' images of girls topless, right? Like it just was like total, but it was like a
Absolutely.
great example of like, we are here to say what girls are allowed to wear to prom.
Right.
And it like.
Or they have them reach down and line up to see if
Right.
if they're passing. Nothing like
Right,
that. It's more making sure that we're just messaging. And,
Right. Yeah.
And again, I'd ask, where was this all written and what, especially with some new things that are coming out, I want to make sure that we just covered it.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is having it written, having something predefined is actually the most protective of people getting policed, because then it's not up to the eye of the beholder
It's not
or the
subjective.
subjectivity of whichever particular.
And you take emotion out of it.
Yeah,
Right, all the
yeah.
emotion.
It's just,
Our school became cell phone free with kids using yonder pouches.
Mhm.
I have to tell you, it has been a game changer,
Mhm.
absolute game changer. So,
so define cell phone free.
cell phone free, the kids, the moment they walk, they come to school and their cell phones have to be in their yonder pouch, same with their earbuds, in their Apple Watches, anything that has the capability to connect to, that is like, can connect to the Wi-Fi,
Mhm.
that has to be in their yonder pouch. And
What is a yonder?
a yonder pouch, it's a pouch that locks at the top, and they lock it and they put it in their bag. And then when they leave school, there are either people who are there, and like it's a simple, like you
Like a
touch the
magnet.
top
Yep.
and
Unlocks.
unlocks. And there's some hanging around the school building that are locked during the school day and are then opened at 2:55. And it has been a game changer, and the kids are just doing it.
Mhm.
Like I haven't had one kid complain to me. I had one kid ask me what would happen in like a major, like emergency situation if they really needed to use their phone. And I was like, well, and so we had to like talk about like, major emergency situations.
Yeah.
So anyways,
We used them at my previous place. and,
Yeah.
It absolutely was a
Game changer.
It was.
I
Agreed.
highly, from a parent who has a child that all they want is a cell phone. And I'm like, well, your school is cell phone free, or you're not allowed to have schools and cell phone, or you're not allowed to have them. So why would you want one to like, I would rather just be like, well, you have to put it in a yonder pouch every day. So, but anyways.
I would say in the first 4 days, I mean, there's been nothing, not one.
Did you feel like it was
referral.
previously a problem?
I didn't think it was a big problem
Yeah.
last year. I think it's something that exists, and I think the yonder pouch might take some of it out. But for everything that you put in, every step you put in,
Mhm.
there will be a workaround.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Kids
But it's
bringing
still a
two phones.
messaging.
I like the fact that we haven't had any in classes in 4 days without the pouch. So I think it's been,
Yeah.
and it was pretty good last year. There were a few last year, but not many. But now we also have we certainly clarified with the middle school students at the first meeting. This is not us.
Mhm.
This is a state law. We don't have a choice here. And-
It's interesting, the interpretation, because in New Hampshire, it's a similar state law. Our children are in New Hampshire schools. They should no longer have Wi-Fi at the school.
Mhm.
So,
Bills
no
the parents.
Wi-Fi. And, but they cannot use their phones, and this was the rule, I guess, previously, that they can't use their phones in attendance taking spaces.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like if you're at lunch, or free
Mhm.
period, you can use your
They're in
phone.
high school.
And that-
we went to high school.
And it's just, well, it's interesting in that, like, it's just interpreting law differently in that sense.
Well, in Vermont, it becomes a law next,
Yeah,
not this year, but
Vermont, I mean, New Hampshire it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, whenever people say like, well, how are you going to enforce that? It's like, okay, sure, there's going to be workarounds, but the point is, if these kids are hearing at multiple levels
Yeah.
of their worlds, from
Mhm.
the state legislation to their school administrators, to their parents, that these are sources of risk and danger to your development and education, it just will just reinforce the idea that they need space without them, and it will make it much easier, I think, to.
Yep. And I think if you're engaging students as well, right?
Yeah,
And you
right.
walk around this building that we have, all our teachers are engaging students. There's no time for them to even be looking and doing, right? So I think it's a win-win. We have, like I said,
Very
hasn't been.
awesome.
Eligibility protocol. So again, where is it written? We have an eligibility procedure, but we really don't have it. Yeah, we really don't have it written down, sort of what the process is. So I put that together. So I'll be sending that out so everyone's aware, but it's pretty much just 2 weeks before the period in which we will determine eligibility. We'll run a report, but instead of just looking at athletes, we're going to look at all students and have conversations with all of them, right? We shouldn't just say eligibility for athletes or
Well, I think if somebody's in drama
co-curricular.
club or anything like that,
Yeah.
that should be equivalent. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go through procedure. Michael and I talked about that with the counselors and then with the athletic director. And then
Well, and I said, so my son's in soccer and it was reviewed in a parent meeting for soccer. So.
Perfect.
it was.
excellent. Yeah,
What if they don't go to, like, Ruby plays field hockey in Woodstock?
Mhm.
So,
it's Woodstock's eligibility, then it's the school in
Okay.
which they are participating
got it.
of, because then it could be a little bit.
How would they know though? Just, how would they know that she's not eligible? Like, what her teachers,
So what should happen when I was an athletic director, we would communicate. If we were sending kids over, right? I would say, I need a copy of your athletic policy as it pertains to, and it should be the same, but sometimes, maybe discipline procedures may be a little different. And there should be a continued conversation with, hey, when do you do your eligibility or when do you do your graduation? Like those type of things. So whether that happens specifically, I couldn't answer that question, but that's how it should happen.
Okay.
And again, where is it written? That's what and if it's not, then we need to get it in place. I threw up here some goals to get a little understanding, trying to keep them very simple. And one is collaboration and horizontally, so within our own building and then within the SU. I'm new to all of this. So for me, it's just a matter of making sure we're aligned in our building K-8, taking a look at that, and then how are we going to be a part and share with the SU. And one of the things that came up as an example, we were talking, I think during one of the in-service days with social studies about having a mock trial with all of the schools. So one could be defendant, one could be judge. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we can incorporate sort of align. So that's exciting. Behavior, we talked about that. And so just the communication, not only within our own building to students and faculty and staff, but to families and making sure that that is open. And then community outreach and involvement. And I'll get a little bit to that coming up next. And then I just met with the PTO, which was great, and talked a little bit about some things that I'd like to do. An Iron Chef competition with all students, maybe sponsored by PTO. I'd love to do.
Make sure you get Kelly involved.
Yep. Yep. She's been, yeah. She's
We had
been
some pretty
wonderful.
cutthroat smoothie competitions in the past.
I'd love to do a career day once a month, that we sponsor where we just have folks celebrating, and maybe they come in, we have classroom sign up and we just celebrate. And when we do that, we typically go with like firefighter, police officer, but why not a business owner? Why not all of the other people that we have within our district? So maybe come in once a month on a set day and have classroom sign up and they can break some things and we can have a multi. We don't have one, we can have a number.
We have a couple community members that are really involved with Dartmouth's, I forget what it's called, like employee engagement or something, but it's like, that's like intended to cultivate career interest in the community. Jenny and, I'm gonna forget her name, Bethany,
Yeah, Bethany.
who used to be, anyway,
That'd be great.
Rory's
It would be
mom.
great.
LaHaye, Bethany LaHaye, and yeah,
That'd be great.
anyway,
Yeah.
so
Stuff like that, and talked a little bit about maybe a faculty student fun thing like a basketball game or something like that, or a wing eating just something to get and have some fun with the kids outside.
dodgeball, as teachers love to play dodgeball.
Was
Yeah.
that in the past, was it basketball? They always did the.
Yeah, and that's what I
Great
like to do is
basketball, yeah.
basketball.
I want to say that was the biggest PTO I've
Yeah, the
I
walk by,
have ever
you're
walked
crushing
by.
it.
that
Yeah.
PTO.
And
is-
Crushing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're incredible.
And we didn't have a PTO like what,
For a while.
4 or 5 years
Yeah.
ago. I mean, that thing has been resurrected from the dead. and
Yeah.
it was
Alexa,
beautiful.
Trisha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to just see the size of
Yeah.
the PTO meeting was
It was very nice.
Yeah.
But just to kind of finish up here, some old, new, we're still gonna do some recognition that we do, bi-weekly, which is, recognition of students' birthdays. I stole this from another school. I'm gonna be sending out birthday cards home to our kiddos so that they get a little something. Yeah, so I started the first round in September and we'll go all the way through the summer. So I think we sent out 9 for this month so far. Again, just a little something for kiddos.
Fantastic.
Newsletter, which we talked about a little bit. Wildcats. So I bought 4 wildcats, little stuffed animals, and we handed them out. I handed them out at the beginning of our faculty meeting, and just to recognize 4 folks or 4 groups, and they get to keep them all month. They can name them, dress them up, and in the first faculty meeting of each month, they are to recognize some of their colleagues and pass them along. So it's just a good way to have some fun and kind of recognize some things that we're doing. I have taught you being good cards, which are cards that we'll give out to students, just as said, and we'll keep half of it and we'll put it into a lottery, and then we're gonna pull them out, and I would like to award them with books or something along those lines. We usually do 2 or 3 every bi-weekly, and so we'll just get some books for folks and stuff. I would like to work on a book vending machine. That's something that through a grant I was able to obtain previously, so I'm gonna look into it. And I can tell you what, as corny as it sounds, like a book vending machine, the kids couldn't get enough of how to get books out of that. They would ask, how do we get coins? So it's something I'm gonna look
That's so
into.
cute.
It's adorable, and it puts your mascot and your logo on it, and it's nice to see kids go up and want something other than sticking their face to get candy, to want to get a book. So thank you cards also, and that's for faculty and staff. It's just little postcards that every couple of weeks, 4 or 5, I'll just put in their mailboxes just to recognize. Wednesday and Friday, there were traditions of dressing up and positive messages on Wednesday on shirts, and Friday is our Pride Day. And athletics, I just put up there. I talked a little bit about the
Pride being like proud of
school. Yep. So I don't have any gear yet, so I'm gonna have to.
Better get busy.
I know. I have to get onto the website.
I feel like we need to get more gear, because like, I feel like
The rec always seems to have it.
that's where I get my gear, is through like the rec, or actually my nephew who lives in Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. They are also the Wildcats, so I get a lot of gear through there that says Wildcats. It's like
I
Hartland.
heard a bunch to the school store, to the store last year.
Yeah, I feel like we need to, like, I want to order more stuff.
I agree.
Put it out there.
Yep.
Are you still doing, I saw the Heart Awards, but you didn't say anything. Are you
Yes.
still, we're still going? Okay.
Yep.
Same.
Yep, same thing. So this, I'm just gonna buzz through, just our counselors, make sure they streamline the process of how to keep in contact with them to keep kids safe. So they put that down for me, and I just kind of added it out there because, right, our SEL programming and what we're doing for our students is so important. And so there's that there, and just added that, so that's good. And school behaviors that we talked a little bit about, behavior matrix that we published, and just following up, making sure that we're staying on top of that. That's good. Thank you. And that's just sort of our protocols. I just have it up there so that you know that there's something in place when asked kind of what are we doing. We have that stuff in place. Michael's done a wonderful job. That picture, I have that in there because I asked my previous counselors wanted to do a presentation for the school, and this is how they see me. So they put it in there. I've kept it. Yeah, I have hair on there. So they didn't tell me. It was just, we were going to some elementary schools, and I had gone over and I just really was paying attention, but I thought this is how my faculty sees me, so I kept it in there. That's good. And then we have this within our maintenance program, and talking about Kelly, we're doing this fantastic composting program that has been wonderful. Kids, teachers, everyone has been participating and doing a great job. The building looks great. Yep. And the kids have been wonderful. And it's sort of all hands on deck, and it's been great. So I just included it in there. If you clicked on it, you'll be able to see sort of the details, but it's worth mentioning because it's been fantastic.
You know, the kids built that.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I got this.
Yeah, I think it was our, yeah, smart. Yeah, I think so.
And open house, just a reminder there.
And I saw Betsy's garden when I came in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, my turn.
Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna transition over to my report,
Somebody's asked that a few times.
which has a lot of pictures, but not a lot of kid pictures. So it's just,
I know, yeah.
sorry. They're,
No, I'm just feeling
You
nostalgic
said
because
me a
I haven't
picture.
been here. I
should probably come
You sent me a
check it out.
picture.
I just need to come drop
That was
something
so
off.
studious. I love
Yeah.
when the superintendent sends me pictures of my child.
she was so studious.
I know. Hey, you should see her at home.
So, I'm just gonna share, we just opened school, so I have a little bit of information on, how that all went. So we started with the new teacher onboarding, which we now have 2 days instead of 1, which is awesome. It's not enough, but it's better than 1 day. So we spent, the first day, just welcoming them, doing some get to know each other. We had, presentation from our curriculum office, from the tech department, from, our licensing, standards board people going over the new licensing system that we all had to transition to this summer.
Just keep changing.
I know,
Just keep changing. It's
the
great.
union. We had a presentations from Jennifer Aldrich, who did a workshop on trauma transformed education and collaborative problem solving, which is very important. And then staff had to do a 7 habits training that could have been done in person. We had a regional training, or they could do it online, so they got to choose. We onboarded 9 teachers, which is like just joyous. The room was not full. In the past, it's just been packed full,
Yeah,
and having 9 people felt really good. So
that's for the whole SU.
that's for the whole SU.
That's pretty good.
Crazy.
We onboarded, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you. We had like a massive,
Onboarding's a
everyone,
lot.
everyone left.
A lot. So, yeah, it was really nice to have 9, and they're fabulous, all of them. So we're very fortunate.
Stability.
We had, that was followed by the welcome back. Teachers had 2 days, we had 2 days of teacher onboarding. And they had time with their mentors as well. And we did bring in new support staff, and they met their mentors and had lunch. And so, didn't leave out the support staff. Then the teachers had 2 days of prep time in their classrooms. And then that brought us to last Friday. And we did the SU welcome back, which felt really good. We had some fun. We honored staff with service awards, years of service awards, which they really appreciate. And I can't tell you, I get emails like multiple emails questioning, like, I think I should have gotten that. I should have gotten. So check the dates. And so anyway, we had presentations from Ian is up there in the bottom corner. He did a really fabulous job talking about the service program and the goals for that program.
Can I
And
mention Hartland in particular?
Yeah.
The number of people who were getting these awards
yeah, a lot.
from Hartland was outrageous again.
Yeah.
Like
On service.
10,
35
15, 20,
years.
35.
Who was 35? Is that?
Sam,
Oh.
wasn't he 35?
I think John was the 35, and the plus you can add 20 years to that for driving the bus, so it's really.
I was about to say, he was my bus driver.
He started driving the bus when he was in high school.
He started driving the bus when he was
He was
18,
18, yeah.
and he needs to keep driving the bus
Yes.
because he's the only one that comes up our road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the other
No, but it was,
Yeah,
it
where's
was
Sharon
amazing
Kramer?
how
She
many.
must be.
She was-
She got something.
30. I think
She's
she's
over
30.
30. I
I
think
think
she's
she- we had 2
Heidi, Daryl.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
really
good.
What about
It's-
Linda? Linda must be. There, I think it was last
She made it.
year. But
Yes,
She's awesome. Nice
But it was
work, too.
great. Yeah, they
It's
they
really
enjoy it.
special.
It's fun. So we had the welcome back. Ian did a lovely job. Bridget, our curriculum director, spent some time talking with the staff. The food service department cooked lunch for everyone, breakfast and lunch. And I have to tell you, they did a taco bar on Friday, which was out of this world. I mean, everyone was just raving about something and going like what they wanted. Following that, staff members in grade level groups working on K-5, they were working on common assessments, really ordering the units. They've been using Amplify CLA for this 3rd year now. So they've gotten used to it. They requested like rearranging some of the units so it makes sense when you're teaching plants, that's in the spring, and those types of things. So they got together in groups and did some curriculum mapping, and they're working on common assessments. And we have asked every teacher to upload in Power School the end of unit assessment. So we're trying to get consistent across the SU. It's hard when you have students in multiple schools and you're seeing different things in Power School. So we're trying to create some just consistency across the SU. So they were working on that. The middle school team is starting the proficiency work that the high school did last year without the support of the AOE, because they pulled that away from us after Act 73 was passed, but Bridget is leading it on her own. Yeah.
Keep it going.
After we planned the whole year, they said, no, we can't do that. We pivoted, figured it out, and the high school's working on their assessments. We also
need a t-shirt. We know it. Sorry. It's just like the summary of life right now.
We also had Heather Lynn come in, and she did a 2-hour HHB training with all staff. So everybody understands the law, the policy, the procedures, what their responsibilities are, the process that we have to go through. I thought it was really well received, and people were happy to have the information. I think everybody wants to do what they're supposed to do. They just need to know. So that was one of
That's
the
awesome.
days.
That was a really good idea.
Yeah.
After we got ours.
Yes, and we, administrators and designated employees, had a separate session earlier in the month so that we are all on the same page, and so we've worked hard.
It's a scary thing for the teachers, and Heather is so good at
Yeah, she knows her
making it
stuff.
less scary.
Yeah.
But also. she knows her
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
like it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we had our welcome back students, and I didn't get to see Frank deliver or Michael deliver their behavior expectations to the students, but we worked together this summer as an administrative team to create the presentations for elementary, middle and high school staff. We have a parent one as well that people have access to. So everybody delivered the same information across the SU,
Nice.
which was great. Yeah. This is not as fun. Just keeping you informed, the district quality standards are going into play this year as a beta test. So we're self-assessing the rubrics. And we have to do that between October 15th and November 14th. And the agency has developed the rubrics in consultation with field, so we know what's on them. We're in a pretty good place, especially in the business operations, facilities, and the governance. We have our local comprehensive assessment system in place, and so
Four through the board.
There's a couple
say that again.
fours through the board. We did well.
You said you're self-assessing, so
Yes,
fours.
yes. Oh, yes,
Fours.
fours, no, I'm kidding, yes, above proficient.
There you go.
Yes. So the bottom two, local comprehensive assessment systems and continuous improvement, those come from the education quality standards. Those are the two pieces of the quality standards that we're assessing this year. So I'll keep it posted, but I think we're in very good shape. And then last but not least, Act 173 updates for you. I'm going to try to keep you informed. There was a meeting on August 1st. I was able to attend that one. What was discussed at that time, basically what problems are we trying to solve? What are the goals, commitments that we want to shape our decision making from these goals? These are possible decision criteria to use to evaluate proposals. So those are the questions they kind of came up with. Does this proposal ensure that every child has a fair chance? Does it provide a path to better opportunities and outcomes? Does it get more out of every dollar for Vermonters? Does the proposal preserve opportunities for public input and voice in the schools? That remains to be seen. I don't know about that, but
I don't know if you can't vote.
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with these redistricting committees that I appreciate that not only are they asking about the educational value, but are we getting more for our dollar?
Right.
Because I mean, I really feel like this is becoming really hard for Vermonters. Like, I think everyone is feeling like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore taxes wise. Like, I don't know, like, so I appreciate that that's like,
Part
that's
of
still
the-
there. It has to be because it's brutal.
So they met on the 19th. I was not able to watch that all day session. I have new teachers in front of me. And they don't have minutes up yet, and I have not had time to watch the
They should
videos,
have
but
minutes up by now, don't you
they
think?
didn't, yeah, but they weren't as of today when I went back and checked. But, from what I heard, they are, requesting, they requested data needed to complete their work. There is a sheet of data that they requested. I'm gonna click on it just so you see it. Hold on. Let me do this. So they need to get this data from the agency primarily to do their work. Okay, so if you just want to look at the list, I'm
I
not
can
gonna read
see
it
it.
all to you, but it's long. It's a lot of data.
So
And
they're
they need
asking
it,
this before they can. make
they
any
need it
decision.
now.
And does anybody work?
I mean, I don't know how they're gonna pull this off. To be honest with you.
Is there anybody
It's still going, by the way. It's still going.
So this is the data they want.
This is the data they requested at the meeting.
You're still scrolling.
Yeah, on the 19th.
It's not loading fast enough for you.
So, I don't know.
Is that publicly
Yeah, it's on the website.
Okay.
If you go to the,
Act 63 committee or?
Act 73.
I mean, sorry, Act 73
Um,
Can you
committee.
get your acts right, please?
Sorry.
Act 73.
Get your act
And
together.
if you go to the AOE
Maybe I should get a
website,
t-shirt.
Hannah, and you
Get
just
your act
search,
together.
And pivot.
task force, you'll see
Yes,
that
yeah.
page.
Get your
It's on
acts
there.
together.
Okay.
And then
Um,
pivot.
So,
There you go.
what I heard, they did spend time
And then it's just
talking about
It'd be great about school board.
debating whether to rely more heavily on the data from the state or the district's preferences. And I don't know where they landed on that. I did hear one member basically said, we were tasked with going back to the legislature with 3 plans. That's our charge. We weren't tasked with taking input from what communities want. I don't know. It's feeling like it could get ugly.
It already is. So
That's all I'm
just
saying.
to think like, as we sort of like hear about this, acknowledging the, major absence of information and the time crunch and, the likelihood that they get to their 8th meeting and then drop something the next day that is final. Do you have the impression that there is anything that we should be doing as a school board or a school community to advocate for Heartland?
I mean, that's where it starts to get ugly, right? Because people start advocating for what they want. And I don't think I think it's important to engage the community in discussion about this, in particular. I know that people are getting together and talking about what they want. And, I don't know that that's bad, but I don't.
And there was talk at the SU level to have some
was.
sort of community forum.
Yes, we did talk about that. Like,
But like, I guess I mean more specific, like, I think actually what I struggle with as a community member and a school board member is what do we want? Because I think what we had wasn't working, right? We all acknowledge that, right? We don't want to go through budget cycles where we're fighting with our neighbor to get money to open the school. And so that wasn't working. And so, but I think what's really challenging is to actually know what is the right path forward. There are some worst case scenarios for Hartland, right? Closing Hartland School would be a worst case scenario, I think, for most people that live in the town.
absolutely.
And then there's probably a variety of good enough case scenarios, right? Like, I think there are a variety of outcomes that we could all agree are acceptable for this town. A mega high school in, on Route 12, that is Hartford and Woodstock and Windsor, right? That I think would be acceptable to most people. A continuation of Hartland as it exists, K to 6, moving to something, right? I think a lot of Heartlanders would feel that, right? Like, so how do we protect against that worst case scenario, right? And also cultivate like a little bit of openness, because I am hearing growing anxiety amongst parents that I think is actually not reflective of any particular outcome they can imagine, other than, again, this worst case scenario of the school closing. And so like, I do wonder, do we have some responsibility to be,
I think you need to hear from your constituents.
yeah, messaging in some way about what, you know, that, I don't know, because I think part of what is scary is just the unknown.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be, I mean, this is just what I'm hearing. You know, it's hearsay, but I think there is some understanding that a regional high school might be a good move for all parties involved. Where that is, I think is important. I think when, and I know Woodstock needs a high school, but I think if Woodstock builds a high school and the Windsor or the Weathersfield taxpayers have to pay for that high school and it's in Woodstock.
On the far side of Woodstock.
I don't know how that's
Yeah.
gonna go over.
I don't think it's gonna go.
But
over
Hartford
great.
needs a,
And
Hartford needs a
Hartford needs a
school.
new high school, so,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
it needs to be a new,
Yeah.
like, central.
Well, and like,
point.
what's interesting is that Heartland, like, when you look at the map of the
Heartland.
Windsor
Yeah.
districts,
Point.
it is in
Heartland,
Heartland.
yeah.
And so,
I mean, I think people could get their heads around that. I can't imagine Woodstock taxpayers. I mean, Windsor is a beautiful school,
Yeah.
probably in the best condition, has space to add on.
Yeah.
Could become a high school, right? And
But Woodstock kids.
Woodstock, same thing. They're not
Because we
going to.
drive, we've got kids
Right.
who come from, you know,
Correct.
Killington and
that's right,
Pittsfield.
Bridgewater and, yeah.
So I think those conversations should probably just start to happen. And I think at the board level, they
We
will
were,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, how do we, but like,
It's already.
The SU board
Yes.
has already
doing it.
started something like that.
but like, do we have Heartland, like, is there a way that like, or should we as Heartland board members start talking to or have a way
Yeah.
to
Forum,
talk to?
or just invite the community to come and you listen to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hear them.
Because I think that a big piece of this, like even hearing like, oh, the SU's talking about it, like I think that's great, except that it's not, again, it sort of is, again, it's isolating the conversation, right? Like the
Yeah.
purpose is how do we cultivate some buy-in in these potential
also-
solutions?
I think part of the challenge is that the way that things are right now, the community, like, we don't want to create a false premise that the
Correct.
community has any say.
Yeah, like right now,
Because,
It's a
They
tricky
don't
place. It's a very tricky place. to
and
be in.
so we want maybe to know how they feel. I mean, we definitely want to know what our community wants, but we also can't.
Like, we don't have
any
any
can't
say, right?
promise.
Can't
We
make
have
any
no say.
promises.
You can't make any
Yeah.
promises, but can there be, I mean, you know, when you think about the like rural school collaborative, is that what they're
School
called?
Alliance, Rural School Alliance.
Rural School Alliance, right? Like whether or not there is some value in having some connection to that group, right? Like just so that people at least know there's some, again, advocacy happening, not necessarily to name which of those possible okay solutions manifest, but to protect and to guard against the worst case, right? Because I think that,
Well, you gotta hear from your community what they think that worst case is.
right,
What they will stand up.
Because you might have some people who are like,
Right.
close Heartland School, like,
Yeah.
Send them
means like
somewhere
taxes go
else.
down drastically.
you know, like, yeah, exactly, my taxes will go down.
I mean, they
except
won't.
They
No.
won't.
I
They
mean,
actually
that's,
go up.
I think also like, I mean, again, we don't want to go down this road again, but we all know it's not gonna save anybody any money,
Yeah.
right?
No,
I
it's
mean,
gonna be
the
worse.
driver of
It's
the
absurd.
cost is health insurance for the employees.
Yeah,
There's
a lot
not
of-
anything
there's a lot
happening in
of
any of
unknowns.
these buildings, but,
I'm
okay, so you don't have any insight right now into any
No,
way that Heartland could have any impact on this?
No, I think
Nor,
we need to engage the community. I think probably in the next month or so. I do have,
does that mean like inviting community to the meetings? Like, do we need to be a little bit more clear about?
I think you have a meeting where you hear from the community.
But I
separate
feel
from
like,
a-
were we doing this at the SU level?
We talked
Inviting
about
everybody?
doing it. We talked about
Yeah.
doing it at the SU level.
I just don't want to double.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but don't you think, I mean, not, again, like, I think that there is a cohort in Heartland that sees, that has, like a bit of exceptionalism attitude, right? That are not gonna
But
wanna
this
be.
is the time that we're gonna have to come together as an.
I
SU.
totally
Like,
agree with you.
that's-
I totally agree with you, but I think that like some of it is people being able to still feel, for the time being, Heartland still is its own school system. School district. Right?
Yeah.
Right, we're our district, right? We're in a supervisory union. So for the time being, there has to be some place for constituents to come and talk about
Just her.
the specific, right? Because the implications are very different to be a town that has school choice to be compared to a town that doesn't have choice, right? I mean,
But we
Yeah.
didn't, like, I want to hear from people, but we have
Very,
no
very
say.
clear, yeah.
No
None of us have a
say.
say of
They
anything.
can tell us what they think if we can advocate for them, but that's all we can do. We can only advocate. We have no
I'm gonna,
seat at the table.
I have a VSA all-member meeting, I think it's next week,
Mm-hmm,
and, I should hear more,
mm-hmm.
updates from Chelsea at that time. And I guess the question is, if they're talking about, whether they want to rely on data from the state or what districts are advocating for, like, somebody should tell us that, so that we can
So we can
advocate,
do
figuring
it.
out what. the
Yeah.
community
Right, so that we can be advocate. I think that's my point is like, I hear you that like, it's not up to us. And at the
We just need
same
to make
time,
it
I think
clear.
this is potentially, I mean, this potentially has massively significant implications for the town of Hartland, right?
Yes.
That house that has high property taxes, you want to see that property value fall real fast, take away school choice.
Yep.
Right? That is gonna really change property value dynamics in this town. So that is a very different conversation.
You just have to hit the screen.
They are.
So, and I think there has to be some opportunity
Touch
for
it.
us to, right, we can't control, but we can advocate. And I don't think
Do
that.
like state rep. To that too, is that the person?
But our state, which of our state reps are on is Becca White on?
Rebecca Holcomb, I don't think Becca White's on the.
Okay.
redistricting.
I thought,
She's not our rep.
oh, she's,
Um,
anyway, we can look, yes, we
yeah, there's a
could.
list of who they are.
And then it's like retired superintendents, right? Is
Yes, yeah.
any of them that have any relationship to us or are they?
Yeah, Jay Bedams, he was the Hanover, superintendent, just retired. Just retired in
Super interesting.
July.
Yeah.
He's from Pennsylvania. He went through this in Pennsylvania, so he has some good
Yeah.
experience.
Just
actually.
interesting that he's not from Vermont.
He's not from Vermont, but he's been, well, Hanover is,
Dresden.
Dresden.
Yeah.
So it's an
Right.
interstate. But he has experience.
What is gonna happen? Do you have any idea what's gonna happen in Norwich? Is Norwich just exempt from all of this?
I think Norwich is exempt at the moment.
Like even from the foundation formula?
It's,
Huh.
I think, I'm not positive, but I.
Because we have Rivendell up there too.
Exempt from the foundation formula.
Well, because they have their high school in Orford.
But even at the elementary level?
Yeah, and they have two elementaries.
Yeah. So,
Hmm,
yeah, I think,
that's it. Yeah, well,
it's probably time to start thinking about having a community something where people come and talk about their thoughts on this, what they want. And you can share that information with the task force. You can certainly share it. Yeah. Well, they're only required to have two,
Other than
community
fight your
engagement
advocate for
sessions.
their own.
like that's
For the
ours.
entire state.
Yeah, two.
Good.
So if we get every single school board member in the state to show up at the community.
Two. Well, they have to do two. Like they, or the task, one of the task force has to do.
Focus
two. Right, right.
So
So I'm gonna keep you updated, with whatever I hear. I'm gonna try to attend the meetings when I can. But I don't know, I have some concerns about all of it. The last thing we have to talk about today as part of the administrative report is our continuous improvement plan. So, this is, oops,
Sorry.
that's okay. As you may or may not recall, this has gone back and forth. We've had to have, continuous improvement plans at the district level. Then we had to have just one at the SU level. Now we're back to every district has to have their own continuous improvement plan annually. And it is also your school improvement plan, which is required for Title I. It's one and the same now, which is helpful.
Yeah.
So we did look at, Bridget did a data inventory and shared it. So Frank really wasn't in on writing this. It was Lindsay and her instructional team leaders, interventionists, and Bridget helped, but I just wanted to share it with you a little bit tonight. It's probably nothing that you're not expecting, but the first goal is 100% of students will grow in math and reading proficiency. So we believe that each child has capacity to grow. Maybe they're not going to grow. They're not, maybe not all going to be proficient immediately, but they all will grow. So that is one of the goals. And as part of this plan, you have to list the measures and the evidence-based strategies that you're going to use and the resources that you're going to use. Some of them are tied to title funds. So those are listed there. That's really small, but I can share this out with you. The next goal is around reading, and it is the percentage of Hartland students who are proficient or above in the STAR reading assessment in grades 3 through 8 will increase from 54% in the winter of 2025 to 60% in the winter of 2026. So we're using the winter benchmark as our target, and it just lists how we're going to do that and the resources needed. Then there is a goal for math as well, and that's grades 1 through 8. Percentage of Hartland students who are proficient or above in STAR math assessment in grades 1 through 8 will increase from 66% in the winter to 75% in the winter of 2026. And there is a goal, it's down below, based on Act 139, which is the early literacy law. And so there's a separate goal for K3 and we're going to use the DIBELS assessment to measure that. And that's students in K3 will increase proficiency from 36% in the winter of 2025 to 45% in the winter of 2026. So those are the biggies. The goal, safe and healthy school goal, is around chronic absenteeism, because we're finding that that's a big problem in all our schools. We know.
Can't come to school.
Yeah.
Can't learn.
So we're gonna, Hartland specifically will decrease chronic absenteeism from 14% to 10%. And
Can you define chronic absenteeism again?
yes, it's, what is it, more than 7% of the days, I think, they're absent.
So it's
Yeah, there's a like a national definition of it. Our wellness committee, our WSCC committee really worked on this. They have criteria set up. Katie Burke, who's the nurse in Windsor, she's a Woodstock, so Heather's a little sour about her leaving.
Like,
She's she's pretty awesome. So they've been working together on some protocols for what we're going to do with students who are chronically absent and how we're going to engage them. They went to this meeting that we have annually. It's EPSDT funds, which is funds that are generated from time studies by the school counselors and nurses, and they get to decide how they're going to spend that money as a group. And they've decided to offer stipends for school engagement coaches. So there are 3 school engagement coaches across the SU that will work with these families proactively when they start to be not quite chronically absent. So that's one of the goals in here. And that one I did with you. And then there's a section on how we're going to progress monitor. So that's the plan. The plans look similar across the SU. So it's based on SU data and then specific district data, but we needed to share that with the board.
Thank you
Do we
for
have
sharing
to
that.
approve it or we just
Yeah, you just have to know about it, and if you have questions about it, let us know. And that
Sounds good.
concludes the report.
Okay.
Stop sharing my screen.
So, items for discussion, followed by motions. We have, the discussion that we have continued, I think, since like April of algebra for 8th grade.
How did we start the year this year?
It's in place.
It's in place,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you hadn't discussed it yet. You have 5 kids.
Five kids.
We have 5
Kindergarten.
kids. Okay.
Yes, 5 kids going
Yes.
to Windsor first period.
Yep, first
And-
period, they return by 9.
And that,
There is not there's not a math 8 component to it.
correct.
Yeah.
And of our tiny class of 15, so. It's just wanted to be clear that it's not a lack of algebra interest, it's a lack of
Actual bodies.
bodies in the class. Okay, so I'll open that for discussion.
So so we feel fine about them not getting grade 8 math, or?
I do not feel fine about them not getting grade 8 math.
And so is there some like opportunity to make grade 8 math one of these great electives they talk about, or like algebra becomes the elective?
I think we talked about, so Michael, you and I talked about, or Liz Burton's and I talked about it, but it's about time and it can't be during one of the elective blocks because it's like 30 minutes or
Mhm.
35 minutes, which isn't
Either
really
30 or
enough.
45 minutes.
45,
Which
yeah.
are
Not
the
every
times that our middle school teachers, the people who would support it,
Yeah,
have to get their prep and their lunch.
so,
So it doesn't work.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Michael, I would love to keep the conversation like rolling at some
Happy to
point
consider that
to
too.
try to like figure out a way to make this happen so we don't have to transport kids and, you know, like, I don't know. I get,
I don't disagree.
okay.
I mean, I do, like, as a parent and as an engineer, I do think that it is very important to offer kids algebra in 8th grade. Because that is when, as an engineer, that is when my engineering, I was able to become an engineer because I started algebra in 8th grade. And I would have had to have done summer school in college in order to make up coursework, in order to get through the curriculum. So it's where it starts. So it's really important to me.
Yeah.
But I won't be. But I
Well, no, I
feel,
think it's important. I mean, my daughter's taking geometry as a freshman. And she said, oh yeah, it was really great, Mom. In the first few classes, it was all the algebra stuff that we worked on. And it was great. So, I mean, we'll see later on if she's floundering and being like, I don't remember how to do what I was, you know, but, yeah, I feel like it's been, I don't know, benefit overall.
I don't think the question is, should we not offer it? It's
Yeah.
how we offer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The only two options are the computer-based one or going to Windsor, correct?
This moment.
At this moment, I mean, you know, what we want to try not to do is track students, right? We know.
Yeah, like Miss Glenn wouldn't offer 8th grade math / algebra for one cohort and not the other.
Correct.
Yeah, right, because we just want to eliminate tracking.
Especially with this year, when we only have one 8th grade.
Right.
class.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So
But
it's not
future
impossible.
years,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, of course, if they stay in their cohorts the whole time.
I see, because the issue is that if you put all the algebra kids in one class, you've got one class that's suddenly they'll gift class.
Yeah,
Or
yes.
Like.
Well, then
like-
that-
And typically.
Well, yeah, but then they don't mix up.
Right,
So
exactly.
then they all,
Right,
they
right,
travel
right,
as a
right,
club.
right, okay.
And it's one.
If they did it online, it was not in my impression they were gonna get the grade 8 math online either.
Say that again.
So, because I remember the discussion last year was really about like online versus going to Windsor, but the discussion about adding in grade 8 math is separate, because it's not like the online algebra gets them grade 8 math in any kind of way, except that they could do grade 8 math with their classes, and then algebra could be done online at any given time during an elective block
Yes, I believe that was what we talked about.
or at home.
Outside of school.
Or outside of school.
Mhm.
Through VTVLC. Which
That
is,
would be
which is a cost, which is,
Dedicated.
Yeah, that would be,
they would have to make.
That's a
No,
bit of
that's,
an equity issue. Yeah.
that's, I think that's what that's what they are doing at Weathersfield this year. So.
and how many kids have started
I
that?
think it's a handful.
I
That's
worry
what
that's
I do.
gonna be, I worry that's like gonna be require so much parental, that's the big equity piece, right? Because you gotta have parents that are engaged in making that happen then.
Well, and you're also making kids choose between math and sports.
Mhm.
Or another elective.
That is also, I mean, I think I shared this last year. I mean, that's what we did in my old school too. Like kids who were doing algebra were doing it through VTVLC outside of school on their own, taking 8th grade math with me when they were in school. I also supported any questions they had in math, like even though I wasn't their teacher, but I didn't teach their algebra class.
Right.
And they were doing, that was a choice.
Right.
And yes, I had several who were still participating in sports, including hockey, which is a large, time consuming thing.
Yeah.
But I had students who did that, and then they were able to get the 8th grade math and also had a lot of support in the 8th grade math class. Here's
Yeah.
I've mentioned that before, which I think it's a little uncomfortable for some, but that's how I did it.
So we did 8th grade math over the summer in our house. So there's also that option.
Keep talking.
I'm just
Yeah.
ruminating, I'm just
Yeah.
ruminating, because I have so many I have slightly different views, so that's okay. We can move that along.
It does make a difference when you get the freshman year in college.
It seems like this is something we should dedicate some time to in like April, right? Like when
I think
budget's done.
earlier. I think it has to be
maybe-
earlier.
We tried April, it's too late. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
like,
that's what we're
yeah,
gonna do.
December.
It's,
By
yeah, it's a
February.
scheduling issue that you have to take a look at. And you
Yeah.
have to, you gotta take a look at the schedule, and there's gotta be a way to infuse what you need to. You may have to,
I mean, I wonder if there's a way to do it where it's, you know, it's, I mean, we have the capability of zooming into an actual class, right?
That's
And
what I wonder.
Are they in this school zooming in for, I don't know, 3 days, 4 days, and in class some days? I don't know. I don't know. if
I mean,
that
we
makes
can also
sense.
share resources with the SU where, you know, we have a teacher that would rotate first period so that the students could get an in-person experience once or twice a week.
Mhm.
And then be remote, so they would have that connection. And I would think that you could make it so the class wasn't huge. I mean, like they were getting bus to Windsor, but having that combined 8th grade algebra individual class.
I mean, they're still not gonna get 8th grade math, right?
Well, they
In that-
could
in
touch
that
on the,
scenario.
well, yeah, they wouldn't get the full 8th grade math.
Right.
But there's a lot of overlap. I mean, I know, but I just went through the 8th grade curriculum and picked out the pieces that
Mhm.
we didn't know in our house. And
I mean, it's staffing too. If you're talking about putting a group of students in a room, there's gotta be adult supervision.
Right.
Preferably somebody that knows how to do math.
Mhm.
And,
yeah,
Right.
and technology. Yep.
yeah,
I think there's a way to do it.
there's gotta be a way to do it.
Yeah.
Heather, you're just quiet. You're just
I'm
thinking.
quiet, just ruminating.
So we need to decide, I've been charged by the SU board with meeting with all of the math teachers, to get their recommendation.
I love, yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's
And,
important.
I sent them an email in the spring and said we meet in the fall, so I can gather them up and see what they think and bring that information back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other important piece is that both, I mean, now granted, our kids are at Hanover, but the kids that are not in geometry this year, feel stupid and feel like they're left out. And it definitely feels like, they're lesser, and those kids are really struggling with that.
Like the other Hanover kids, you mean?
So, and that is Hanover as well. I mean, there is a freshman in Trevor's pre-calculus class, so there's a bit of a push on the math side at that school, but I think that, I don't know. I feel really strongly that I would not have gotten through engineering school without summer school if I had not started in algebra and 8th grade.
So do they get 8th grade math the entirety of the year, basically, like from start to finish?
Yes.
And how long are typical periods that they get that?
48 minutes, what do you think?
40 minutes?
5 days a week. 5 days a week.
How hard, would you be able, maybe not, because you said schedule, but if you like did more, like split it up into semesters, so you did the 8th grade math, and then the second half of the year, you had the option then to do algebra. But then you'd have to,
Can't shove that all in.
yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, they'd still get stuck doing algebra again.
Yes. So I'll try to get that meeting scheduled and bring back information. Sorry. In the next couple of months so that we can decide. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You do. From the retreat.
Now I'm dealing with family.
Your, your board goals that you've decided on at the retreat are?
Yeah.
One is community engagement, so I think that's very appropriate right now. 2 was staff engagement with the board. 3 was transparency in decision-making, and 4 was engagement with the legislature. Those were your 4.
Oh, they're down at the bottom on the radar list. This is,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, those look familiar. Yeah,
Did she already correct them?
she already put them on the radar list. So
Yeah.
let's approve the radar list.
So much.
Okay, so I will, take a motion to approve the, what is highlighted as the radar list, which is our old name for board goals, but I still like it better than board goals. I'll take a motion to approve that based on our discussion, at the.
So moved.
And moved by Beth,
Second.
seconded by Heather. Okay, any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Yeah.
Any abstentions? Okay, that passed 5-0. Okay, moving on, SU Budget Committee Representative.
Ryan.
We need,
Ryan, how you doing that? Is that you?
It was last year, Ryan.
Oh, good, okay.
Well, it
What's
was
up?
Hannah, and then I
Yeah,
absorbed
it
it.
was Hannah.
Yeah, okay. Just like I somehow magically absorbed.
Listen, we have
the
hired, I have 2 partners coming
Nice.
in August of 2026. Or say vacation, Hartland or shot call. I can actually like take a day of vacation. We're gonna turn off my pager. So
Wow.
1 more year and I want
One
some
more
days off.
year.
She's
One
gonna take
more
a day
year.
off and then I'll reconsider SU partners.
It's gonna be the same meeting schedule as it has been, Friday mornings remote and starting,
So
soon.
congratulations, Ryan.
Starting
What time of the day is
the
it?
9 a.m. They're about 30 minutes.
Because as if
And-
like working people can do that.
And they are, and there's usually 3 or 4 of them. Just pulling up the calendar. Barry was talking about them today.
I'm not doing that.
I think
They're all remote.
they are remote. They will be scheduled.
Bless you.
He's scheduled 2 of them. I just have to do. Okay. So the first one will be September. It's very slow right now. September 12th. is the
Ryan, you're free
first
that day.
one, and then the next one is the 19th. So the first 2 are scheduled, September 12th and the 19th.
I know.
Wait, why is it they're back to back?
Because, we normally do them the 1st and the 3rd, but this Friday is the 1st and. we're not ready.
12th, man. So
12th
it's
and
every
19th.
other, and how long is it going for?
Like 4 meetings.
It's usually like 4 meetings. And
So September, October.
That's it.
he's scheduled an hour. They're usually, I don't know, you were there last year.
Yeah.
30, 45 minutes.
When's the one in October?
It would be the 1st, which would be the 3rd. I'm pretty sure the 3rd, and then the 17th.
Okay.
You're gonna do it?
Sure.
And if you can't make a meeting, Ryan, it's okay. We can catch you up.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Okay, let's,
All the people that can't even
Okay.
effort to do it.
gonna make a motion for Ryan to become the SU.
Oh, yeah. I think we can just do that
Okay, there you
by
go.
unanimous consent.
There you go.
Just
Nice work.
Grand appreciation. Right.
So the piece I wanted to add to this item for discussion is, it was brought to my attention that the 2025-2026 Parent Guardian Handbook has this clause on fundraising, which states that all fundraising activities must be shared in advance with the school board.
Yeah.
And the
that-
question was whether or not that applies to the PTO. And my assumption is that the PTO operates with some blanket pre-approval for fundraising activities on behalf of the school, and that therefore they don't need to come to us with every fundraising activity.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, and I want to confirm that that's correct. Because I said it with a lot of confidence.
Nice work.
So how do we make it? So my understanding is, yes, that is true, but that there is a you appointed designee. So in other words, they just have to run it through the school principal or administration to make sure that it's not doubling an effort, it's not anything
Okay.
that involves, because what I've had happen what I had happened previously is that the fundraiser all good, but some of the fundraising rewards or whatever was like to the liquor store.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
Got it.
they-
Like,
right,
not
but to the,
appropriate.
right, to the gun and ammo, which understandable. So that was the second checkoff of being like, okay, just run this by the principal to let him know that
Yeah.
this is what we're doing. As a
And the
designee.
PTO is doing that, I presume, right? The PTO is.
I haven't had anything come to me yet as a fundraiser, so there should be, and we just met and we'll bring that up.
Okay.
There should, everything that's fundraising absolutely should follow a hierarchy, and the principal and the superintendent should know what's
Okay.
going on in the.
So just so you know, what it says in the handbook is the school board. And I was like, I don't think we
So-
are responsible for that, so, but
So
really?
you can just, yeah, I mean, technically, that's what it says, and in other.
Designate any.
You can
So
designate.
Frank Romeo is now gonna be our designee.
Got it, okay,
Should we make a
So-
motion to
yes.
designate you?
okay, so moved. Right,
Okay.
is the school board designee for PTO fundraising.
Any
Any fundraising.
Yes,
Yeah.
any fundraising.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll second.
Okay, so
I'll,
it was moved by Hannah and seconded by Ryan. Is there any further discussion?
just can we make sure the PTO knows that?
Yes, I will
Do
absolutely.
you know, was the PTO coming to you guys last year with fundraising activities?
Or they're just doing their
Or they're
thing?
just doing their
They were
thing?
just doing the thing.
Okay.
Yep, I will reach out to them because we already had a discussion about concessions.
Okay,
Right, and so I think putting some protocols in place.
Okay.
Like handling money and things like that
Yeah.
would be great.
okay.
Is there a form? That is a request.
For
Because there should
fundraiser?
be, yes, there should be a form that has a signature of,
They, when I was a principal, I went to the meeting, so I knew what the fundraisers were. And
can I put together a form?
you can,
That's what I
sure,
would like a form.
you can do that. I know and the way that you're doing it is fine. In Weathersfield, they come in the first meeting of the year, like August, the PTO president comes and says, these are all the fundraisers, just informs the board. These are all the fundraisers we're planning to do this year.
Okay.
And they say, great.
Okay.
So you can do it however.
Yeah, I just think like you even said, there's such a high participant, there's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot of things that are
Yeah.
gonna be thrown around. So if we could just follow a little something,
Yeah,
even if
yeah.
it's just like Google and say,
Yeah.
this is the fundraiser, check
Yeah.
off, done.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not just the PTO, right? Like eighth
Correct.
grade class.
Correct,
does
everybody. It's just-
Drama club.
Right, and what I said to Alexa was just my impression is that the PTO has this, like, it is a sanctioned
Yes.
fundraising organization that
Right.
sort of has its umbrella approval to
Mhm.
fundraise on behalf of the school
Yeah,
community.
somebody just needs to keep track of when fundraisers are happening and you don't want
Okay.
multiple
You don't want
fundraisers
two
going on at the
fundraisers.
same time.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that you don't have other entities that are gonna do fundraising under the guise of. like-
PTO, and it's actually to raise money for.
Right, it's to raise money
Johnny's
for
February
a
break.
football helmet or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's not really sanctioned by us, so that's, I think, what
Got
also
it.
helps.
Okay, so maybe, so I'll just pass that along to her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put in another plug that we figure out how to have Venmo at fundraisers. That would help.
PTO has figured it out.
PTO has, and I think they have their own, don't they?
Yeah, they have their
Yeah,
own
but we still
Like
need
drama
it.
club.
Yeah,
like
but
we always do
within the
drama at
school,
band
we
and no one has
need,
cash anymore.
nobody carries cash anymore. So having a fundraiser where you would do small dollars makes no sense
Mhm.
anymore. And other schools are using Venmo, so there's got to be a way that we can do that.
Through
for
their-
finances.
I mean, I'll ask again.
Yeah, I mean, there's gotta be a way that Larry can figure this out,
Yeah, I can ask.
because
He can
it's
figure out the
hurting,
budgets.
it's hurting our fundraising. And it's also, I mean, what's sad is that, like, we've seen kids get turned away because, like, if you're running a fundraiser, you can't just be like, oh yeah, well, come on in, you don't have any money. And so kids and families have been
That was
turned
a really
away.
troublesome at the haunted house last year.
Okay.
So if we can. Amazing.
Yeah, that's why I'm putting it out there.
I'll ask them. I can't remember the reason, but it's something about accounting.
It's accounting, I know, but there's gotta be a way, like, we can't just.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a way to
I
raise
mean,
money
nonprofits do
without,
it.
yeah.
Like, why would it be functioning any different than that?
Some accounting rules. I
Yeah,
have no
I
idea.
mean, yeah, I recognize that there's a lot of accounting rules.
Check them out.
There's got to be a way to do it, because
I can ask
What's
them.
that?
But right now, the PTO has their own Venmo.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
PTO does. but
Cause they
not.
were even like willing to lend those, I can borrow it.
I actually want
But
to
then we
talk
were
to you
told we
about
weren't allowed to do that too.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, there's gotta be a way
Man,
to
but we can talk about it.
Gotta do
But
it.
there was not like a check and balance of like what's coming in from the drama club and then
Right.
what would go out for the drama club.
Right,
So it wasn't a check,
And then,
which I understand that.
you know, we also couldn't use personal ones, like like, yeah. There were a lot of roadblocks thrown up with no, viable solutions. Or even potential solutions. Okay. I think we are at setting the next agenda, which is really weird because I would be here.
Yeah, so on the work plan.
Perhaps we should we need to reshuffle the board
Reshuffle the board.
as a top
Yeah.
priority.
Do you,
So
so
it's
on,
not even in here. It should be the 7th.
well, in the work plan, Hartland
Oh.
board took off October and I think April for
Okay.
board meetings. So your next meeting.
But I don't know if we can we do that without, I'm gonna ask nicely, like, can we take off October if we don't have a president? Like, should we wait until November or can we go the other way and have an
I think-
October meeting, get that all squared away and then skip November?
No,
No, we need, we need
Okay.
November.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like we could have a short, just because I feel like we need to start recruiting for this
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also
Not
think,
that I-
just to be honest, this Act 73 stuff, like, I think is
Yeah.
really
serious.
Maybe
important,
that's what
and I
you
think
do
we
for
need
the
to
October
revisit
meeting.
Yeah.
I think we need to revisit it or potentially consider that being a community meeting.
I mean, they're all supposed to be community meetings.
Why wasn't talking to you? Got a new phone and that man's been my voice ever since.
It's now.
So it would be, let me say, October.
7th.
7th would be the next one meeting.
No. Maybe the 7th, yeah.
Yeah, the 5th is a Sunday.
Okay,
So
let's do
there
it.
would be reorganization.
A reorg and then,
Like
should we just
small.
open it up to community?
Yeah, I think we probably should
And-
think about that.
And like, how do we do that? Like, we have to really.
I think we get Linda to send an email. I think we get, like, we put it on the listserv and we say, like, want to make sure everyone's aware of the process being undertaken by the state of Vermont. And, you know, the school board is like doesn't have control, but it wants to hear from the town as we.
Is there gonna be
advocacy.
information at this meeting? Is it informational and talk about it? Or like, are we just are we
I
just
think
gonna
it
let
could be
people
an
talk about it?
administrative report, very similar to what you did. I don't think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
should be a
'cause I think-
lot of information. I think
What's
people,
happening. Yeah.
I think anybody who shows up very likely is going to come with some of their own information.
Cause I mean,
Just a quick overview.
I just
Yeah,
wanna make
an
sure that
update
like,
of the things we
Yes.
know.
maybe someone comes to this meeting who knows nothing about Act 73 and this is
Mhm.
like, their like introduction as to like the horrors that are going on right
But I mean, I think the point is there's not a lot of information yet.
There's not.
Yeah.
This is like
So-
what they're doing and that should be like, here's what they're doing. What are your thoughts?
What would you like?
Well,
Like,
I think
what would you
laying
like to
out
see?
what is the state proposing as a process. This is what, like, I think that would. so
What
we
is
can
the state proposing? in the
Yeah,
process?
like,
Well,
laying
that's a
that
good
out.
question.
Yeah.
Well, no, this process, the
Well, we have
redistricting
now.
committee, the
Yeah.
redistricting committee.
So
Yeah,
I think on top of doing the Act 73 updates, you guys need to find another board member. And the way we've done it previously is to put out a letter to the community that says, like, we're looking for a new board member. Like, I had to write a letter of interest, and then we were interviewed.
Were they interviewed not at the meeting, but like separate from the meeting?
Yeah, before the
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay.
But they have to be warned meetings, you go into executive session.
Yeah.
Interview people or not, you decide.
So you could do, like, we could set aside, you could set aside October 7th for like a 6 PM potential board
Interview.
candidate interviews and then,
And then
7
meeting starts
o'clock
at-
informational meeting.
informational meeting.
That makes sense.
Hannah, how do you feel about that? Ryan, how do you feel about that? 6 o'clock, potential.
I sort of think they should be two separate times, honestly. Like, that feels like a lot to do. I think like asking like a 7 o'clock community meeting feels late, right? And like no parents are gonna show up. to
Why don't
that.
we do a 6 o'clock meeting and then after that,
Can we, I mean, I
interviews
think
if we
I
have
think
some.
we're gonna need to talk offline about people that we think might be interested, right? Like doing some recruitment. Sure, we can send out something to the listserv, but I think
yeah.
in reality, how did everybody get on the board is somebody comes and says like, so I know I got on the board. Say
You
again.
you could just warn a separate meeting to do your interview.
That's what I think. I think we make October 7th really like, because I mean, in truth, we want somebody very interested, engaged by March, right? I think, having someone show up for those earlier meetings may not be as essential as having something that can run in March, right? Yeah. So we have a little bit more time for that. I think this Act 73 stuff is gonna happen.
I think that makes sense. Okay, so you'll have a short reorg.
We'll have a short reorg.
And then, so you guys may want to like meet at like 5:45 to do the reorg so that by
This year.
6 you have,
So meeting starts at 5:45.
yeah, and then the public session starts at
Okay.
6. Cause you don't want to do the reorg.
Right, yes, we could do that at 5:30 and then public.
We could probably vote.
On Act 73.
I think, let's do 5:45. We can do it fast. There's
Yeah, I
only,
mean, it'll like,
there's only 4 of us.
and it usually takes us 15 minutes to do the entire
Exactly.
board. You only need to do 2 positions. So,
Yeah, it's just the chair and well, it could be the vice chair.
and the signer of the manifest.
The vice chair becomes the chair.
Yeah.
And the signer and has to back up and, yeah.
Okay, and then in Act 73. Community update?
And call for comments.
Public session
Yeah.
on Act 73.
Yeah.
And
I think-
review and then.
And then we should think about, like, are there people that we could invite to that could, like, Christina, I think you do a really nice job of presenting this information with sort of an unbiased and,
Sure.
but if you felt like that you wanted somebody else to do, I mean, I think, I don't want to put that on you, but I think you have a lot of insight and knowledge and.
Yeah.
So, I don't
Think
know.
about that.
Yeah, we could think about whether or not we want somebody from the legislature or I mean, we could invite Holcomb. We could invite somebody from the Rural School Alliance. But at the same time, like, I think for this meeting, actually having someone that's like, doesn't seem like they have their own agenda, right? Like
Right.
the Rural School Alliance agenda is pretty clear, and I'm not saying I'm not aligned with it, but
Yeah.
there may be people that show up that don't have that, you know?
Yeah. Let me think about that.
Okay.
I mean, if your goal is to hear from the community, hear what they want, what their priorities are, then, and we're recording and taking notes, who would you want in the room to hear that information?
I mean, Holcomb would be perfect to hear that, right? Actually, and we could invite her
Certainly.
to also,
She could show up online.
She could show up online. She's on the task force. There's another superintendent who's retired. Her name is Jen. I forget her last name. But she's on the task force as well. So she might be good. I mean, anybody that's on the task force, it might be good to have them here.
Maybe we should just invite them all.
Yeah,
And
Invite
maybe
the
at
task
least one
force.
will show up.
Yeah, listen, who's on the task?
What?
I mean, it can't hurt.
Sorry, find it.
Michael, what'd you say?
Then they'll try
Invite
to
the
have one of the
Yeah.
public out,
Just invite the
public
task force.
sessions, so.
Do you have particular questions that you would like to ask the community?
I haven't thought of that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested, I think what I'm, well, I don't know what I'll ask them. I mean, I think I'm interested to know sort of how, what people's thoughts are on I think the high school stuff becomes the much more interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear, like, what are people thinking of high school configurations?
Yeah.
Around
What sound like
Town,
acceptable
grades.
outcomes
Yeah.
here?
And I think also like, are people willing to like get rid of elementary schools? And like, cause this district itself also has small elementary schools, like Albert Bridge is a small one, right? Like, and like, I know that has nothing to do with Hartland, but it could if they have to close down their school, like, do those, like, are we gonna welcome the Albert Bridge kids?
Well, each district has,
We're all
supposed to have
different
3,000 kids.
Yeah.
4 to 8.
40.
4 to 8,000.
A district, not a supervisory union.
Depends what they go with.
Yeah.
One of their plans has to include supervisory unions and the other two do not.
So, I mean, I don't think we're even gonna, even with the configurations we're looking at, we won't be meeting that number threshold.
So I did the math with Woodstock. Hartford, and Windsor, and all the elementary schools, it's 3,984 kids, which is.
So wait, that's Windsor, Hartford.
Ryan, keep having babies.
3,984 kids.
Oh, so we just need 16 more kids. 17. I'd say 17.
Seems like it's close enough.
Yeah, which is probably gonna
And
be
you said
the
Windsor, Hartford.
Hartford and
Woodstock.
Woodstock.
But did you include like Bridgewater, Reading?
Yeah, all the school, because on the website,
Whatever the
and
SU is,
again, this is like from whatever the data is on the Vermont website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll say like whatever their school district is, and it'll list it all there, and then I took all those numbers.
I don't know.
We're gonna start calling you Colleen if you're not
Yeah.
careful, showing up with the maths,
The money is.
data analyses. Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is
So,
very stressful.
We need an invitation to the community. And that
And then you're so
invitation.
just taking the cutest thing.
Isn't it?
So an invitation.
I mean, your
Yes.
kids are already in their high school, so you don't
No,
have
but
to
it's very
worry,
stressful
because it
for everyone.
impacts the whole fabric of the state. Mine won't be.
No, yours won't be. Yours
Mine will be.
One of yours will be grandfathered.
I mean, I.
Yeah.
I've been
I'm
like
like
2
2
years.
years.
No, this really does
Does impact the whole fabric of the state.
But then it's also like, is it family grants? So, cause then it's like, oh, my kid is gonna be going all the way up here for
Good
school, and
question.
now my other kid's gonna be going down here for
It
school.
wasn't like it's with Act 46.
No, it
It
wasn't.
was only the kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you better get.
Okay, so we need a
That's
some
what-
sort of flyer inviting the community to October 7th at 6 o'clock, a public session to discuss Act 73 and hear from the community. A quick overview of what's going on, and then
Open it up.
open it up to what are your thoughts and feelings about high school configurations and local elementary schools.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're gonna come up to a microphone and have 3 minutes to share their thoughts, and we want to keep it pretty structured.
Yeah.
3 minutes to share.
Sure. I was
And
gonna
then-
go with one, but.
Well, normally.
Frank Romeo wants 30
And
seconds.
then
Yeah.
is it, you
That's
want the task force, the members of the task force? to be
Invited.
Invited to the meeting. to
Yes.
Might as
participate.
well,
Yeah.
as long as they don't count it as one of their public outreach sessions.
Correct. Yeah, okay.
But let's
All right.
work.
That makes sense.
Nice working.
And then, a letter to the community. Do you want to hold off on applications for the board seat until after October?
Well, I think we can
I
start
think we-
asking
I think
for
we start
them. I
asking
think it's
for
gonna, I mean, let's be
Yeah.
serious. People are gonna look at that email and be like, delete, and it's gonna require us being like,
No, please.
here's how you spell it, P-E-Z, okay?
It's an interim board member.
I made a post-it for my husband.
Yeah, I need to, we have to do some spelling tests with my
Till
parents.
March,
so
and
they
then
got
they would have
pronounced
to.
right.
Okay. And then do you want on that communication to let people know they need to write a letter of interest? That's all they need?
Yep, just a letter of interest. I
Letter
would
of
like to be
interest.
on the board,
And
so I want to hang out with you
why
guys
they
till
would
8
like to
o'clock
be a
at
board
night.
member?
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, can we just start with like, just reach out to a board member for more information? Because I feel like if we make this hurdle too high, people won't jump, and I'd
If
rather
you're
just know
interested,
who's
reach out.
interested. So that
Yeah.
we can.
Because I think also, I mean, before anyone wants to write a letter, it's also like, what's the time commitment?
Yeah, what is this whole
Right.
thing?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
How
a
much
letter,
do you know
yeah.
about education
if you're
policy?
interested,
Like, that's
reach out to a
what
board member. I give your 4 names and emails.
Yeah, sure.
Need the emails, okay. And then we'll continue the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay, I do not know of an executive session. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Okay,
I second.
Heather, Ryan, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does anyone else
Okay.
have tough work in tomatoes? Tomatoes work?
What's your?